Welcome to a brand new series called the ABCs of Sustainability, where each week we'll dive deep into a sustainability-related topic, giving you all the information you need to understand the basics, to possibly change your own behavior, and hopefully to teach others about the importance of these topics as well. Today's letter is A, and we're talking about anaerobic decomposition. At its most basic, decomposition is simply the breakdown of organic materials, things like food scraps, yard waste, or us after we pass away. Within decomposition, there are two basic methods for this material to break down: aerobic and anaerobic, the difference being the presence of oxygen. During anaerobic decomposition, there is no oxygen present, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And before we dive deeper, you might be asking yourself, how is this possible? There is oxygen everywhere in the world, and that is actually not true. It is not deep at the bottom of our oceans, and it is not deep at the bottom of our landfills, where tons of trash are piled on top of each other, compressed tightly, and all of the air is squeezed out. And this is where our problem lies. You see, when food scraps and other organic materials end up in the landfill, they have to break down without that oxygen, and as a result, they end up releasing a ton of methane, a greenhouse gas more than 80 times more potent at trapping heat in the atmosphere than CO2, the typical greenhouse gas we produce when we do things like heat our home or drive our cars. So every time we buy a bag of spinach and let it wilt before we finish it, or we save our leftovers just to end up throwing it out at the end of the week, that produces emissions just like driving your car does. Thankfully, unlike driving a car, which for many of us that don't live in cities is just a necessity of life, reducing our food waste is actually pretty simple and honestly pretty easy if you have a little bit of intention. The average American throws away over 200 pounds of food per year, so that is not a hard number to get down at all. And the way to do it is honestly pretty simple. It's just about being mindful of what you buy and what you eat. When you go to the grocery store, have your meals planned out so you're not just buying junk that might end up being thrown away. When you're planning those meals, make sure that the ingredients from one can also be used in another. Don't buy a giant bag of lettuce just to use only a third of it in one meal and then throw it away at the end of the week. And pay attention to your fridge. If something is about to expire, make sure you use it that day or pop it in the freezer so you can use it later. And yeah, especially as you start, you're still gonna have some food that you buy that goes bad before you eat it, and you're still gonna have some scraps like strawberry tops or onion skins. That's the stuff that you should compost, not throw in your trash. You see, composting allows these food scraps to break down aerobically in the presence of oxygen, which ends up releasing far fewer greenhouse gases and produces a nutrient-rich fertilizer that you can use in your garden. And contrary to popular belief, you really don't need a ton of space or a lot of materials to start composting. There are tons of free guides online that will get you started with stuff that you might already have. And if you don't have a yard, you can even do it on your balcony, on your patio, and increasingly it's becoming more popular for places that are more populated to offer pickup or drop-off services for your food scraps. If you found this video informative and useful, drop a like and follow, and share this with someone who could learn a thing or two.